Good morning everyone out there in YouTube land. My name is Jared and this is my channel Mazda B3K. This video we're going to be tackling a starter replacement on my 1995 Mazda Miata MX-5 NA generation. Without further ado, let's get started. So if you've been following along on the channel, then you will know that I have been chasing an intermittent start issue for a long time. And I worked the problem. I haven't just been throwing parts at it. So the first thing I did is I wound up replacing the ignition switch, which, in fact, a little cover fell off right there. Looks like. But it's right there, and it's brand new now. And it was bad, and then this pigtail was bad, so I replaced it. And then the next thing I replaced, because it can sometimes be a culprit, is the main power relay, which is this guy right here. I put the improved one in, still having the problem. So finally, we are to replacing the starter. Specifically, I suspect the starter solenoid, but we'll get into that in a second. Just going to give you a rough end of what we're looking at here. The starter is located under the air intake on the passenger side of the engine. It is buried deep in there. I'm pointing at it right now. And we're going to do some prep work in order to make our lives a little easier. But just kind of giving you an idea. You should expect this repair to take you a couple hours. And you're going to need a lot of extensions and sockets and ratchets. If you don't have those, don't start this repair because you ain't going to get real far. Take a look at our replacement. I could not find a brand new starter at this point. They may be out there. I couldn't find it, so this is a reman. It's a Bosch SR4215X. So take a look at it. It's this little short, fat guy right here. Still surprisingly heavy, considering how small it is. You know, it's only got to spin a 4-cylinder. But what I think I'm having problems with is this guy. This is the starter solenoid. A solenoid, and for simple purposes, is a switch. So what's supposed to happen is you turn the key, it sends a signal to this. There's a plunger type thing inside that moves. It closes a circuit, which then allows electricity to get into the starter proper, and then it spins and starts your car. All right, so here we go on the prep. We have lifted the passenger side of the vehicle. Make sure you have a jack stand in place. We have taken off the passenger front tire. What this is going to let us do is get some access down through the wheel well to the starter that otherwise we would not have. And also very important, so you don't hurt yourself, make sure you disconnect at least one of the battery terminals. It is preferred that you disconnect the negative, but on these cars it's kind of a pain to get down there, so I just disconnected the positive. If you do that, make sure the positive can't find anything made out of metal. It'll complete a circuit and get sparky. So that's all of our prep. And now we're going to do some prep in the engine bay, see if we can't move some wires out of the way to give us better access from the top. So the last bit of prep that I'm doing for now to just give me better visibility is I pulled these vacuum lines off. The red line goes to your EGR right here, and then the blue line goes into your intake. So keep that in mind. And what that let me do is now I have a bit more of a clear shot on getting to the front of the starter. So with that said, let's begin disassembly. All right, first target is going to be the actual electrical going to the solenoid. This spade terminal here is for a ground strap. We should be able to just pull that right off And then we're going to pull the actual positive wire that feeds the juice into everything. I think that's going to be a 13 or a 14 millimeter. So we're going to take this off over on the starter in the vehicle and get the lug off, and then we can put the nut back on so we don't lose it. That'll get the electrical out of the way. So as you can see there, that is our ground strap. And then you see there are two terminals behind it. One of them we care about. It's going to be that top one there that has the L-shaped bracket sitting on it. So that's what we're going after. Let me see if I can actually get this out and you guys actually be able to see it. Okay, so that's out of the way. So I was able to get some light on it. As you can see, got that ratcheting wrench. It's 13 millimeter. It's pretty loose, so I'm probably going to switch to pulling off my finger here, but just wanted to show you the angle of attack so that you can duplicate this at home. As you can see, we now have all the power disconnected from the starter. So now we're going to turn our attention to those 3 bolts and nuts that are actually holding the starter to the block and the bell housing. Alright, I've moved the light around and you can see we are next to the clutch line, right? And I can't really get my finger down there, but you see that bolt head that is immediately to the right of the clutch line? That is one of our starter bolts, and it's actually holding that clutch line bracket. So when we pull that bolt out, that's going to come loose. And then if we look down here, so not a ton of context here, but you see 2 bolts, right? Well, one of these might be a nut, but you see there's a giant guy down there. That's an actual bell housing bolt. We're not worried about him. But the guy above him, right there, that's one of our starter. And I'm zooming out so you get some context about where we are. And then you can't really see it because this is in the way. But right there, behind the coils for the clutch line there, you can just see peeking out, there's a nut. So there's a nut on that side holding the starter. There's a bolt on the back side, so we have to deal with that. Alright folks, here's the setup. I'm working on the lowermost bolt first. It's a 14 millimeter nut on this side, so I've put a 14 on it. Spare 1/2 ratchet. I need something to jam it so I can actually pull the bolt out from the back. And then this is how I'm jamming it. And let me show you how to actually pull it off. Okay, so we are under the car. And right there is our target. And it's a 12 millimeter. So hopefully with it jammed, I can take this collection of extensions here. And this 12 millimeter. We're going to get that off. And if that works out for us, we're going to duplicate our success with this bolt in the corner here. Alright, so to get you guys caught up on where we are right now, we have taken this bolt out, which goes up here, right? And we have taken this bolt out, which goes through like that. So that leaves us with this guy, and looking at the hole, it's threaded, which means this is a bolt. It's not going to be a bolt and a nut. And that's our last guy that we need to get out, and then we should be able to start maneuvering our starter out. So let's go take a look at that hole and see how we need to do it. So I took a look for that third and final, and as you can see, I went for the same approach with the same sockets and extensions and everything for that third and final. You can get at it. I have wobble extensions, which give me a little bit of flex, but it's out. and we're going to go top side and see how we need to wiggle the starter out. It's going to have to come out through the wheel well in order to get it loose. Unfortunately, there's no good angle to try to film this at to pull the starter, but there it is. You'll notice it's drooping down. If we come up here, you'll see that there's separation now, and if I get my hand in here, there it is, right? So we're gonna kind of, all right, I'm gonna park that there. Then we're gonna come down here, and here's our starter. And we almost have it out. There it is. Now what's interesting is I kept reading online about there being some kind of a weird bracket attached to this, and there's not. It's just starter, which I'll take it. Curious if this is a reman or not. It is. So, this is not the first starter for this vehicle. Doesn't surprise me though, it has over 200,000 miles on it. 2017 maybe? I don't know. 2001? No way to tell. Curious who made it though. Oh no. I just wiped it all away. Oh no. Anyway. So that starter coming out. Looking at the teeth. Teeth look okay. They're worn. But they're not. Bindex is moving pretty freely. So anywho's. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to get the new one. And then figure out how to canoodle this guy back in place. The one last step before we do any canoodling. Do line up the old and the new and make sure that everything looks okay, which it does. So we should be able to drop this in. I can tell you that this was not a Bosch, because yeah, nobody follows that ever. The stickers are different, right? So. Alright, new one in. Again, weird angle, but I wanted to show you that, here we go. I did flip it around like I said, and it's not crazy tight. It's just there to help with alignment, and I found I needed to back that third and final bolt all the way out because it was interfering with getting the starter to sit flush up against the bell housing. So I've managed to get further up here, right up there. I am getting that bolt in. It's threaded, but before I try to pull it tight, I want to get that third and final bolt back in and threaded through its bracket and threaded into the starter. And once all three of them are at least threaded, then I can start snugging things up and then reversing that guy down there and taking care of him properly. But honestly, it's a through bolt, so I can spin it any way I want, just whatever way is more comfortable to get this thing tightened up. All right, wanted to take a moment and stop here. I have put our positive connector back on, the hotline. Now, you want this to be a firm connection, right? There's a lot of power that flows through it. It's what actually spins the starter motor. But on the back side of that stud is some solder and like a wire mesh. And if you over tighten this, you'll snap it free, and then the solenoid is no good. And you will have to take this out and at a minimum replace the solenoid. So you want this firm, but do not over torque it, or you will really regret your day. All right, with that, in the camera that does not want to focus, you'll notice we got the ground strap blade back on. We have tightened down our positive. So at this point, if you've been following along, the starter should be firmly bolted back in, and you should now have the electrical reconnected to it. And we should be able to test this while it's in the air. So we're going to go ahead, and if you really did follow everything I did, we're going to reconnect these two vacuum lines. So we'll get that one back there. That one goes back on there. And that's basically all we did, right? Didn't really move anything else around or zip tie anything or whatever. Clean your tools, right? But we're gonna reconnect the battery in the trunk, and then we're gonna give her a crank and see what we get. All right, let's see what we get. Well, that spins faster. Fired right up. I like that. Nice. I mean, I don't know if this truly cured my intermittent start issue. Only time's gonna tell, but I'm liking what I'm seeing and hearing so far. Oh yeah. All right, looks good. And there you have it, folks. That is one starter changed out on a 1995 Mazda Miata MX-5 NA generation. We got in there, we got it out. Hopefully it runs more better. And I will call this a successful repair. By the way, if you've got a core charge you need to take care of, don't forget to, go return your old starter to the auto parts store or whatever. In my case, there was no core charge, so this is just kind of here. If I had the time, I'd try to rebuild it. I don't, so it goes into the metal scrap pile. Alrighty folks, that's going to do it for this video, where we successfully changed out the starter in a 1995 Mazda Miata MX-5 NA generation manual transmission. And things are more better now. If you found this video interesting, if you found it entertaining, if you think you learned something, please consider like, sharing, and subscribing. That does help to grow the channel, which brings me more money, which lets me bring you more videos like this. All the disclaimer being said, I will see you guys next episode.